Welcome to another bankrupting episode of Monday Movie Pickup. As you all know, it's July, so that means that it's time to once again pick up some Criterion editions from Barnes & Noble. I actually had a list this year of what I wanted to get. Only one newer release that I wanted to get that was released since the last sale, and that's Memories of Murder. This is the Bong Joon-ho film, and after Parasite being such a smash hit, also being a fan of Snowpiercer, I was very interested to also check out his other films, and this one, which I've heard a lot about, got a Criterion release, so I figured it's going to be the best way to finally see this movie that I've heard only so many good things about. Criterion editions are always the best. And again, Royal Tenenbaums, Wes Anderson film, and I'm trying to get all the Wes Anderson films, especially the ones that I haven't seen yet. I haven't seen Royal Tenenbaums, which might shock a lot of you out there, but yeah, it's just one of those movies I've never really gotten to. But that means I'm finally getting to it. And I don't have too many other Wes Anderson films I need to pick up. I got some earlier work like Rushmore, Bottle Rocket, and I have to look again to see which ones I don't own, but I'm pretty close, and luckily every one of his movies has been released by Criterion. I also have Anatomy of a Murder, which I finally got to watch. It's a very entertaining film. This is very good courtroom drama, and I've been wanting to see this for many years, so I finally got the Criterion edition, and yeah, it was exactly what I was hoping it would be. I guess I wouldn't say it surpassed expectations, but it was still very good. Another great Jimmy Stewart film. Jimmy Stewart's always been one of my favorite actors. And then I got 2 Oscar winners here, because on top of collecting Criterions, I've also been collecting Oscar winners. I have Midnight Cowboy here, which I don't know much about except for the fact that it won Best Picture. I hear it's pretty good though. Dustin Hoffman. In the Heat of the Night, here's another one that won Best Picture. But can't really say much beyond it except it has Sidney Poitier in it, so Oscar winners. That was also on my list for this year. I might stop there again for a couple more pickups just because I'm thinking of finishing off all of the Oscar winners. Plus, the one I am definitely getting regardless, because I think I have 3 more Oscar winners to get: Silence of the Lambs, The Last Emperor, and Tom Jones. But I really, really want to get Bringing Up Baby, which has been released by Criterion. It's the first Blu-ray release of the film ever. So I do plan to get that regardless. It's a great, funny movie. So you might see a couple more of those by the end of this month, but we'll see. I also am finishing up my Disney animation collection. So Frozen 2, which if you saw both of my reviews of this movie on YouTube, the discussion of it and my regular review, I wasn't very into this movie. And since its release, I haven't heard many people talk about it. I will watch it again. I always give these movies a second chance, and, it might have been just the experience in the theater. It might not have been a good one. Who knows? It could be so many factors as to why I didn't like it the first time, but I just remember it being kind of disappointing, kind of boring, but I'll give it another shot. I also got Raya and the Last Dragon, which I actually dug this movie quite a bit, and this was actually a Patreon request, so that's why I figured I would buy the movie, and I would also get Frozen 2, just so I finally have the Disney collection fully updated again. As I say in many videos, the only one I still need is Melody Time, Make Mine Music, Disney, get that 2-pack released, please, through the Disney Movie Club. I'm also trying to finish my Dreamworks collection, so this is a collection that I haven't always focused on, but I put them all together for the first time, all my animated films. I put all the DreamWorks movies together in order of release, and I realized that I was pretty close to having them all. But while doing some research, I was looking up Ants on Blu-ray. I have it on DVD, but the Blu-ray has gone out of print. I don't know if that's true. That might just be an Amazon error or something. It might just be completely... It happens with some of these movies where some people think it's out of print, but really it just needs to get another line of production started, restocked, but then the price of the movie goes really, really high for pretty much no reason. So I figured I better be safe. I better just get all the DreamWorks movies right now, because I know they've been thrown all over the place with different release companies, different distributors. So I have here pretty much all the different films. So 2 Aardman films for DreamWorks. I got Flushed Away, which was released on Blu-ray pretty recently, along with Wallace and Gromit. A lot of these movies did not get Blu-ray releases till pretty recently, which it's kind of crazy. This won the Oscar for Best Animated Feature, and it pretty much went until I think it was 2019. If I look for it on the back, Yeah, 2019. All the way till 2019 before it hit a Blu-ray release. What the heck? I also have Sinbad, Legend of the Seven Seas, which I have never seen this, but I hear it was a big flop because this was pretty much the reason DreamWorks stopped doing 2D animation. But I hear that it's not bad. I hear actually good things about it from the fan base that exists for it. So, you know, as an animation fan, I will definitely check it out. Plus, it's got Brad Pitt. And Catherine Zeta-Jones. I mean, you can't go wrong with them. And then Spirit. So, of course, there's that new Spirit film that's released, but that has pretty much nothing to do with this movie. From what I hear, because there was a TV show about the horse that I also believe had nothing to do with the movie. But the new movie basically was like a remake of the TV show. All I know is I heard that pretty much fans of the original film and fans of the TV show, which are kind of two different groups for the most part, both were not very happy with the new film that was released. So I'll see it eventually because I'll add it to my DreamWorks collection because weirdly enough, that film, even though it's computer animated, not 2D animated, it was in fact created by DreamWorks still. And I should mention, I did actually see this movie many, many years ago. I saw this actually in theaters, weirdly enough, and haven't seen it again since, so it'll be cool to revisit it. Loved this movie as a kid. I have not seen it in many years. I've had it on VHS. It was finally time to upgrade it to Blu-ray, and I'm kind of amped to give it a watch again. I don't know if it'll hold up. I almost doubt it'll hold up, but it'll be kind of a great experience for myself because, like I said, grew up with the movie, and it was one of the first movies I saw that was actually about, like, movie making, I suppose. But let's see how realistic it is nowadays, and if it's really a good commentary on Hollywood, I don't know. Here's a Mill Creek release of Miami Vice and The Kingdom. So Miami Vice, also a Patreon request this month. This is actually the theatrical edition of the film, not the director's cut. From my understanding, the director's cut, which was released on Blu-ray in its own single edition a couple years back, the theatrical edition was never available. It was always just a director's cut. So this is actually the first time I believe it's hit Blu-ray as just a theatrical cut. It's kind of the same situation with Tropic Thunder, where Tropic Thunder on Blu-ray is only available in the director's cut, not the original cut. So, it's kind of cool, I guess. If you want to see the original cut of Miami Vice, this is the way to do it. And you also get The Kingdom with it, which I don't know anything about The Kingdom. I remember Miami Vice being released, but I like I said, I know nothing about The Kingdom. And I also don't know too much about the TV show Miami Vice, but the movie looks interesting. So, thanks for the Patreon request. I'm curious to watch it. I have the Dirty Harry collection here. So this was kind of going up in price, but that was just the release that was done in Region A. This is actually a different region, if I can even figure out which one, because I think this is actually meant for the Region B territory, but like a lot of Warner releases, it's region free. It may be made for one territory, but you can actually get this as an import, and it will work on any Blu-ray player. So on my Region A Blu-ray player, this is region free, it'll work. And this was actually much more affordable versus the version that was released in the States. And there's nothing extra with that release versus this release. This has all 5 of the Dirty Harry films that starred Clint Eastwood. I had the first one for many years, but I figured if I'm going to watch the rest, I might as well get the full collection. I think this is the only way you can get all 5 films. I know that there's a set out there that has the first 4 as one of those 4 film favorite sets that Warner does, but I think this was the first time all 5 movies were released. I don't even know if a lot of people know there were 5 Dirty Harry movies, so right, I think even that last one came out in the 90s, if I can get the release date on here. The Deadpool, yeah, 1988 actually. Okay, so pretty close, but these movies went on for quite a while. And then by far the coolest thing that I have today is this Woodstock set. So I only found out recently that this actually, was a documentary, and that it won Best Documentary its year of release, the Oscar for Best Documentary. So this release here, what it is it's the 40th anniversary set, and I believe that the 30th anniversary set added additional hours to the film. It was a director's cut. And then for this 40th anniversary set, they released even more material, but it's still, I think, the director's cut length. Yeah, it's at 224 minutes. I think there was about an hour and a half less in the theatrical cut, and then they added all this extra material for the director's cut. So basically, this is like the most comprehensive version of Woodstock that's out there. I'm kind of getting into like live music being released at home. I do own Live Aid, and yeah, I don't know. I was just curious to check out Woodstock, especially since it won Best Documentary. I was like, well, I might as well finally experience Woodstock, because, you know, as much as I can hear everybody say, oh, you had to be there. Well, I couldn't be there. I wasn't born. So I'll watch it. And I hear it's good. I do have some Shout Factory stuff here as well. I'm continuing to get all the John Carpenter films. And here's Elvis. This was actually a TV movie, but it starred Kurt Russell as Elvis. So if you never knew, Kurt Russell was Elvis at one point. It's pretty awesome. And this is a Shout Select release. This was actually the second Shout Select release. So this will join my other Shout Select editions until I start compiling my John Carpenter films together as one collection. I've already complained about Shout Select in the past, where I don't really understand their branding, but you know, it's cool that they released the TV movies even. So excited to finally give Elvis a watch, because I've been curious to see Kurt Russell's take on the man himself for quite a while. Then I got these really awesome Vincent Price sets. So this is the Vincent Price Collection, and this is the Vincent Price Collection 3. So I don't have the second one. The second one's actually very expensive at the moment. It's out of print. The first one was out of print for, I think, like a year, but then they actually did a repressing of it. So this is actually the second release of this set. And this was the one odd case where Shout Factory actually did re-release the set. They usually don't do that. Once it goes out of print, it's over. But in this case, it actually got a repressing. This has a lot of his most popular films: The Pit and the Pendulum, The Mask of the Red Death, The Abominable, Dr. Phibes, a lot of films that I'm sure you've heard of before, the Fall of the House of Usher. So it's a lot of those older 50s Vincent Price films that I haven't seen before. I've seen a lot of early Vincent Price stuff, but I haven't seen a lot of his 50s and 60s era, strangely enough, even though that's probably the era he's better known for. Like his version of Tower of London's on here, Master of the World, An Evening with Edgar Allan Poe, like so many great movies. I hope that the second one gets a repressing as well. I actually looked it up, and a lot of those films have been released through Kino now. Kino actually has the rights to a lot of those films. I don't know if it's a case where Kino owns some rights, but also Shout could still do their own releases. I'm hoping that Shout does something like this again with the second collection, because as much as I like the fact that Kino has them available, like you can get most of the second collection's films from Kino, they're separate releases, and in the end they end up being more pricey. And I don't know if special features wise, if it's as worth it, because if you can look on the back of like here, you can just see already how many special features are on here. I mean, these are even more comprehensive than these like Universal horror sets that they did. Yeah, if you're to compare it to these sets, which also are really great, there's special features with that too, but there's even way more with these Vincent Price sets. So really cool of Shout Factory, and I hope that the second one, come on Shout, re-release it please. A couple years ago, JFK got a release for the 50th anniversary of JFK's death. It was released in 2013, a big box set that went out of print. And it was a pretty cool release because it had JFK, the director's cut, but it also had all these extra films with it. 2 documentaries, a film that was about JFK that was released in the year 1963 starring Cliff Robertson, and it also had the episode from The Untold History of the United States of America that Oliver Stone produced that was about JFK. So if you got that set, you got all those extra discs, but it went out of print, and JFK itself is pretty tough to find. So this is how it started out. I got this set that had the director's cut of JFK along with these films. This was the most affordable way to get JFK at that time. Its individual release was out of print, but if you got this like 3-pack, you were able to still get it. I had that same kind of situation with King Kong, where King Kong on the 4-film favorites set from Warner Brothers was more affordable than getting King Kong individually. It's crazy, it's madness. I also then bought The Untold History of the United States. So this not only had the JFK episode, but this just had every episode. So this is actually kind of better to get than even that JFK box set. And then I found out you can actually buy all of the additional discs separately. So here's PT-109, which is the film about JFK that was released in 1963. It's on the JFK box set, but you can buy it separately for much cheaper than trying to get that box set right now. And then you can also get these 2 documentaries. This was JFK Remembered 50 Years Later. This was actually a documentary, I believe, might have been specifically made for that box set. It was released in 2013, but you can buy it separately as well. So this was a much more affordable version. And then they also had JFK, Years of Lightning, Days of Drums, another documentary. And basically, this is the entire box set. So it doesn't have the additional materials, it doesn't have like the additional booklets, things like that, but this has all the discs that you could get from the JFK box set, plus you can get every episode of The Untold History of the United States, and you can get 2 additional films if you find this version that has Natural Born Killers and Any Given Sunday. So basically, don't go buy that JFK box set. Save the money and buy all these. For altogether, this was about, I would say like $50, $60. Much better than getting that overly priced JFK box set that's just never gonna happen. And then, last but not least, Looney Tunes, the movie collection. I'm a fan of Looney Tunes. I am looking forward to Space Jam: A New Legacy. And this actually has the original film, the Bugs Bunny Roadrunner movie, and it's also got Bugs Bunny's 3rd movie. Because there was a film that was released, I believe, before the Bugs Bunny Roadrunner movie, but I can't remember what it was titled. Basically, these were always just compilations, though, of all their different short films. So basically, it's not really a movie, but oftentimes, if you ask, like, I know they did like a thing a couple years ago for a magazine where they were listing like the best animated movies of all time, and they said like Bugs Bunny Roadrunner movie was like the 3rd best animated film of all time. Even though it's like, it's not really a film, but it just has the best Looney Tunes shorts ever compiled into one film. If you just bought all those like Platinum Edition sets, that's probably every single short that appears in this film. But you don't get the extra material that was made for the film specifically that kind of combines, the cartoons together. It's Bugs Bunny introducing them, so nowadays it's kind of pointless if you can get every individual short on its own. But still, I kind of hope that they do a Blu-ray release of the film in the future because, like I said, those extra segments aren't technically available anywhere. So there you go. I had it on VHS for years, finally upgraded, and that was everything for this episode. It needs to be done. See you next time! Thanks for watching the video, and special shout out to Lauren, Anthony, Anna, Kirsten, Spencer, Lucas, Ryan, and Robert for supporting me on Patreon. By joining my Patreon, you can get exclusive blogs and videos, and for just $7, you can get your own monthly movie review. I hope you stick around, cinephile, and have a happy, productive day.